Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com, geeking out with you today over drones. That's right, we're going to be geeking out over my first drone. I've been wanting to get into drones for a while now. You guys know that I love photography, I love video, and one of the coolest things that we have available that's affordable for us today is drone technology. So I've been looking at things like the DJI Phantom 3 and 4, trying to make up my mind what I want. I definitely want something that shoots 4K video. You know that's the direction that I'm heading in the near future, so I don't want to cheap out on those things. With that in mind, a drone is a heavy investment, and knowing me, I'm a little accident prone. I'm likely to crash things if I don't get really good at flying these drones. So our friends over at GetADronecom sent me over something affordable to practice with, and maybe this is a good idea for you guys. They are also sponsoring today's video because they did send this to me, and we're just going to talk about what my experience with using my first drone is and some tips for you guys for when you're using your first drone. GetADronecom is an awesome website where you can learn more about drones. You can actually read up on them, study up so that you can make a proper investment, and you can buy drones right there on the website. They are very cool and they keep things fun and informative. So make sure you're checking out GetADrone.com. The reason you guys should look into a cheap drone like the Omnimus, which is like about maybe 40 bucks, is because if you're gonna go ahead and buy a $500, $600 drone and you've never flown one before, it is hard. It is really complicated. If you've never flown a radio-controlled aircraft of any kind, or you're the type of person like me that crashed up all your RC cars as a kid, flying one of these things is a little complicated. It requires some really great coordination, reflexes, reaction time, and it can be really like anxiety driven to pilot one of these things. Even knowing that this is only a $40 drone, I was so scared about crashing it. I got it stuck in a tree a couple of times. I worried about whether or not I had it too far out of range. And so it was a real experience getting used to the idea of flying a drone. But within a couple of tries, putting in maybe an hour over the course of 2 or 3 days, and I was finally able to get a sense of control over the drone. And you guys are seeing some footage up here, but it was really cool. And again, knowing that, well, if this crashes, it's only a $40 or $50 thing, made it a lot easier to get comfortable with this drone. When you're doing this and it's something more expensive like the DJI Phantom, you're going to be so grateful if you use a cheaper drone. You can get something for $40 like this. There are drones that are $20, there are micro drones, but you really need to get used to flying it and handling the controls. You have a different control that handles the elevation, and then you have another control that handles the overall direction that it's able to go by letting you drop the speed of one set of propellers in favor of the other. So drone mechanics and getting it to go back and forth, up and down, it gets really complicated. You also have to maintain enough of the throttle to keep the drone hovering off the ground. Getting the drone to hover more or less in place and to keep it steady, that was the real challenge, and that's where you're going to learn the most when it comes to handling a drone. So that's something that I had to keep in mind. And then when I wanted to steer it in terms of going back and forth directionally, I had to get a sense of the controls. I had to get a sense of the direction that the blades were. It was very complicated, and it requires a lot of intuition and practice. For being light and very plastically, the Omnimus was actually pretty durable. I'm surprised it actually held up and that I didn't manage to destroy it completely outright. Because, like I said, I'm a little clumsy, I'm a little accident prone. I did not beat the Top Gun video game as a kid on the NES. So handling this was a real experience for me, but I feel better about it now. And if I were to get something like the DJI Phantom 3 or the Phantom 4 or anything new that comes out, I would feel a lot more comfortable than if I had bought it and that was my first drone. So I would recommend that if you guys are looking for your first drone, whether it's the Omnimus or something else, maybe it's a micro drone that's only 12 or 15 bucks, there are plenty of them on GetADrone.com that you can take a look at. I would say that if you get something like this and you practice with it for maybe 30 days, 60 days, then once you get something more expensive, you're less likely to completely destroy it and waste your money. And so I'm going to be playing with this a little bit more. I'm also probably going to get something slightly more expensive and something slightly cheaper. I want to test out a bunch of different drones in different scenarios. I want to understand whether or not having a larger, more robust drone really makes a difference in handling. I want to understand these things so I can actually teach you guys a lot more about it. So thanks GetADronecom for helping me out with this. And you know, I'm gonna look at ways that I can do more of this experimental stuff. That's the one cool thing about having sponsors help out with the channel, is I get to explore and experiment with things and share them with you guys, and I can teach you guys as I learn more about them. I am by no stretch of the imagination a drone expert. I am a novice. This stuff is fun for me, and you know, I am likely going to end up crashing and destroying some kind of drone before we get to the DJI Phantom. I almost guarantee you that's what's gonna happen. But there's a better chance of you guys learning from my mistakes. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed learning about my first experience flying a drone and seeing some of that footage. I'm actually considering putting together a little short reel with some music of my first drone experience in the same way that I did for showing you guys the inside of my computer case, except this footage is gonna be a lot better. It was shot with the Samsung Galaxy S7. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely let me know in the comment section, and I'll see what I can do about putting that video together with some sweet, sweet music from Audio Blocks, and I think that'll be cool. Anyway, thanks again to GetADrone.com for sending this over. I super appreciate it. They are a really cool website, so if you're interested in getting a drone like the Omnimus to try out your first drone experience so you don't crash something that costs $700 and have to cry, which, you know, I would, then you should definitely be checking out GetADrone.com. Anyway, like this video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the other awesome content on the channel. Remember, tech videos are usually on Tuesdays, but I also have a lot of gear this month to get through, so maybe I'll double up on that. As always, you guys, thanks so very much for watching and for geeking out with me over my first drone.